Everybody, hope you're doing good and staying safe wherever you are. I'm Ray and welcome to my YouTube channel. So basically, by the title of this video, you guys know that we are going to be doing a story time, and I'm super excited to tell you guys about what exactly happened in that high school boarding school. And yeah, so just let's get straight into this video. So basically, after I finished my primary education, I passed, I did well, and a day school called me. And basically, if you're done with your primary school, then before being done, you actually have a chance to just write all the schools that you want to go to. And when you are done, your results kind of just get sent all over, and then a specific school or schools call you, and you just decide which school you want to go to. So a day school called me first, and I said no to it because of two specific reasons. One was that my two best friends had already decided to go to a boarding school, and I felt like I just wanted to do the same because they were going to boarding school, and I wanted to go to a boarding school also because of them. Peer pressure here. And the second thing was that the shopping that they got. Basically, I saw how much they went to town every single day and came back with lots of stuff, and I felt like I wanted to do the same. I think that is also peer pressure also. But yeah, so basically those are the two specific reasons why I decided to go to a boarding school. Stupid, I know, but we're not gonna talk about that. So I think the third reason, which is not specific but still is a reason, was I just wanted to see how boarding schools were, if the stories that everyone told me was true or not, and I guess I found out for myself. So yeah, stay tuned for the rest of the video to hear all the scary stories that I experienced over there. So basically, every single member of my family kept on asking a whole lot of times if I wanted to go to a boarding school or not, and my answer was yes every single time. And my dream came true. I was accepted in a boarding school, and I went. And I'm not gonna say that the first year was super great, but it was good because the teachers were nice, the food was good, there was no bullying at all. Alhamdulillah for that, because if there was bullying, then I definitely would be a victim of it, because I am very easy to take advantage of, and I think everyone is good, so that's why. And yeah, basically everything was good for the first year. There was just no drama. I found good friends in people, and yeah, the first year went on good and well. Thumbs up for that. But then came the next year. So in a year we have three terms: the first term, second term, and the third term. So the second year, the first term, I remember after we came back after the holidays and we came back to school, I think we stayed over a week, and then the screaming began in the middle of the night. We will just wake up to hear girls screaming, and at first I never cared about it because I thought it was all girls high school drama things that they were doing, and I just did not really care about it. And the good thing is that it actually happened not in our dorm, in other dorms, so I just did not really get into that stuff or care what was happening at all. But then stories just went around, and I heard that they were saying that an invisible being was choking them. And I never really thought much about it. I could hear the stories that they were saying that they saw cats turning into people, or just they saw people walking around in the middle of the night and not knowing them, or those just stretched things outside. Like there were a lot of trees in that boarding school, so they kept on saying that they saw people and all that stuff. But I never really listened to that because I had been watching a lot of horror movies, and I was like, they never scared me. So hearing them talk about those things, I'm like, high school drama, I'm not gonna get myself into that. So the first time just went like that. It never actually happened every single day, but it will happen like once in a week. And people, you just wake up to people screaming, but then I'll just go straight back to bed because I loved my sleep. And yeah, I just did not want to associate or think about those stuff, because if I thought about it and I gave it too much interest, then I definitely would have just gone affected and become scared and act crazy, which I did not want. So I just pretended like nothing was happening, or something was happening but it was stupid, so I never cared. But then ended the first term of the second year ended, and then we went back home and then came back to school again. And things got worse because at those times when the screaming was going on, it happened in other dormitories, dorms, but it never actually happened into our dorms. So in the second term it actually began happening in our dorm. So that's where things became heated up. You will just wake up into hearing just your next bed bedmate or something like that, like the person next to your bed screaming, saying that there are bad people outside the window or door and are trying to get in and try to do bad things, or someone was in or something like that, or someone was just choking them and she was feeling bad or weird or tired or scared, and that something was trying to come in. And the worst thing was that I was sleeping next to a door and a window, so that really freaked me out, and I was like, oh my god, today is the day we're gonna die, something's gonna enter. But the only problem is that when someone went out there was no one, but the girl kept on screaming that there was someone outside, and it just kept on happening, not every single day, but it will happen like in a week multiple, like in a week 2 times or 3 times, and it just kept on getting worse up until the whole the whole school decided to just strike. And I remember it was an exam day, I had an history exam, but then instead of going to classes we decided to go to the assembly ground to share our issues with the teacher, because we told them and they never, not I told them, basically they told them, I never really took much notice. But the students body, like the prefects and the monitors, the head of the school, like the students prefects, and yeah, went and talked to the teachers, but they never listened. So the students decided to just strike, and I was among them because it was affecting me also. I could not get any sleep, so we decided to just go and sit down on the assembly ground. And I remember teachers coming in and asking good morning and I remember one student kept on saying, what is so good about this morning? Like I will hear that phrase being said on the TV and television, and I've never had it in real life, and hearing it in real life was actually funny. So I remember her saying, oh, what is so good about this morning? And the teacher just kept zipped up, he just shut up. And then we waited up until all the teachers came and they talked to us, asking us to go back to class, but we asked them to solve the issue because we were not getting any sleep and it was getting worse. So I remember they called like a preacher or someone, and or a priest, I think it's a is it, are they the same thing, like a priest or a preacher? Comment down below because I really need to know. And I remember being someone was called and he prayed, and we were asked to fast for a whole day, both Muslims and Christians. And then for the whole day we were actually given our like some time for us to sit down and pray. The Muslims went to their corner and the Christians went to their corner, and we sat down and prayed for the whole day. And then we did not have breakfast or lunch, but we had supper. And yeah, so basically I feel like it stopped, but then it will happen, but just a little bit. But this time not the screaming, but students began fainting all of a sudden. Like they'll just stand and then just faint all of a sudden, or just someone just do something crazy, and I never just got to understand. Like for example, one day, remember, it was like morning preps and we were in class, and then the first years just came on running to our class and we were like, what's going on? And they kept on saying the new girl was acting possessed. So I remember as the new girl chasing us all around. She was a new girl and she had been transferred to 5 school just in her first year. And so basically we were wondering why she had just been transferred to all the schools. But now we know because she was acting like she was possessed, and she began chasing students all over the school. And remember, mind you, it was like 5 in the morning. So I remember the principal of the school sat us down and told us to just not think about it and just not be scared, and that it was being taken care of. And just she was just locked up in the office, and then she was just her parents came to pick her up, and that was the last we saw of her. And then we were brought another speaker. This time it was not a priest or a preacher, just a motivational speaker, and he came and said the exact meanings of fear. And he told us fear was a false evidence that appears real, and I tried to keep it on my head. But after the incident of that girl and saw her, just seeing her running around and screaming and doing all that crazy stuff, it just got to me, and it just threw me off. And from that day, I never used to sleep. Believe me, I never used to sleep. I will just stay awake all the time and just see my own things, hear my own things, or just think of my own things. And it was so bad. I just didn't want it to happen or to keep on going. So I will speak to people, but then I will speak to people and they will tell me just take the worst subject that you have to take and just read it, and then you can actually just go to bed. But then I tried because my worst subject was mathematics, so I will take it and just read it, but it never worked. Maybe for some it worked, but for me it never used to work. So yeah, basically that is what happened. I never used to get any sleep. I will just stay awake for a long time from the minute we just got to our dorms to sleep and until the morning that we were supposed to go to class. And I felt really bad because I will just be shaking and sweating a lot. I used to sweat a whole lot and shake. I remember there's a time like a girl who was a year older than me, in a year higher, in a higher class than me, she came to me and told me, let's just sleep together. It was not allowed, mind you, but she felt sorry for me because she said every single time she would wake up in the middle of the night just to maybe to go to the toilet, she would just see me there shaking and just praying and holding the Quran. And then she actually told me to come sleep with me today so that maybe you might get some sleep. And I did try, but I never slept, and I actually sweat on her bed, and it was kind of embarrassing. And she woke up and she also told me the same thing, that every single time I woke up you were still awake. So yeah, that I just wanted out. I just did not want to stay there anymore because of my head was all over the place. I could not concentrate anymore. And plus the issue with the divorce, if you haven't checked that one out, please do. The link will be down in the description box below. And plus that, then the whole two things just going to my mind, I just felt I was going crazy. I just felt weird and stupid, and just I didn't want to stay in that school anymore. So I remember when we had just a middle term break, and I went back home and went to my dad and told him to just take me out from that school. And he told me just finish this year, then the next year you're not going back. And I was really happy knowing that I was not going to go back to the school. And the screaming stopped, and like strange things just stopped happening. But for me it never did, because I kept on having that insomnia, if that is what you actually call it. I never used to sleep. I would just stay awake for the whole night. And the strange thing was that I never felt tired in the middle of the day. And I hated when a 7 p.m. reached, because I knew it was a night, and basically 10 will definitely reach. And 10 p.m. was the time when we were allowed to go to our dormitories to sleep. But then I never used to sleep, so I tried every single thing with the mathematics books in my dorm. I tried to extend up until 12 in the classroom so that I will just get tired and then come back and go straight to bed. I'll try to just take a bath, a cold bath, so that I'll just go to bed or anything. I just tried. I listened to people and I would just try to sleep with people, but it never came. The sleep never came. So when my dad told me that I was not gonna come back the next year, I was really thankful for that, because I feel like if I just had to spend another day here, then I'll definitely go crazy. So yeah, that's just what happened. Lost my sleep, had my own things, began hallucinating, and yeah, basically that is exactly what happened. And after the second year got ended, I remember packing up every single thing of mine and just going back home with them. And then when the holidays were over, mind you, yeah, when the holidays were over, mind you, I never told like my other family, like my parents or my siblings, about what was happening. I never even told my dad. I just told him I wanted out because I was homesick and I got sick a lot. So he kind of listened to me, but my other family members did not want, because for one big reason is that I was a sponsored kid, and there was a higher chance that if I decided to just not go to that school anymore, I would lose the sponsorship, and they just didn't want that. And I also felt it. I didn't want that, but I felt like staying in that school just would make me go crazy, and I just wanted out. So I remember then telling me a lot of times, just go. There are only 2 years remaining. Just go finish them up, and just go on with your life. But I just didn't want that. I just didn't want to go back to that school. I remember when I felt like I was losing the battle, like everyone was going into me and telling me just to go back to school. I remember going over to my dad's workplace and sitting there and crying, begging him to just not let me go back to that school. And finally it worked. I felt bad just crying over there because I was just pressuring him up, but it worked. It did the job. And he basically just went around and got me to another school, and alhamdulillah I got another day school, and I went to it. And yeah, that's basically what happened to my high school boarding school, the drama and the scary and everything that happened. And I'm still scared up until now. Talking to you just gives me the creep. I'm not sure how, at what time I'm gonna be going to bed tonight, but I'm just gonna try to. And I remember I still have the effects, because back then, when before everything happened, I used to be comfortable being left alone at home, but now I'm not. I feel super scared being left at home alone. I'll just even have to have just my 2-year-old niece just to keep me company, because being alone just makes me feel, oh, just lets me see things that are not even there, or hear things that are not real. And also the second thing that still has an effect on me up until now is that I could actually sleep in the dark with no problems or issues, but now I cannot. So it's very difficult for me to sleep in the dark. And if the lights are not on, I'll just have I have a charger which turns on a blue light when it is on. So I'll leave that on the whole night, just to get that little light, so that I just not assume my own things, and I'll just not feel scared anymore. So yeah, that's basically what happened. I give a huge applause to every single person who went on and finished in that school, but for me, I just gave up. Call me a coward or call me any name you want, but I felt like I was gonna go crazy just staying there for another 2 years. And I'm saying alhamdulillah, because I just went to another day school, which was not fun, but I was comfortable with it. And yeah, so that was it. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know if you think that was scary or not, and possibly you might say that it was not scary at all, but if you were there in that situation, then definitely you would have felt scared, because having people waking up screaming in the middle of the night, just hearing them saying that there's someone outside your door and you're actually sleeping next to the door, or just having people faint randomly just next to you, that is super scary. So I am not regretting leaving that school. It was actually a good school, and it is still a good school, but I'm actually happy that I left, because I feel like, again, how many times am I going to say that I was gonna get crazy if I had stayed there much longer? But I'm saying it again. If I had to stay there much longer, definitely I would have gone crazy, because I felt like I was actually beginning to go crazy, because I was hallucinating, seeing my own things, and I just wanted out. And thank you, Dad, because he got me out. And yeah, so that was it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, and if you want to be involved in live discussions like this one, or like the ones that I will link down below, then sure, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and also go ahead, comment down below if you have any problems, any struggles, any dilemmas. Go ahead and comment down below, and if the comments are disabled, just go over to my Facebook page, which will also be in the link down below. Go over it and follow me, and also just comment there whatever problem you have. And yeah, that was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you beautiful people on my next video. Bye bye.